Yeah, that's it. You don't start staring and gazing into these monsters, right? And it's a
Yeah,
funny thing too. Like you brought up the
dominate.
word monster, and that's also in the title, right, of the Jeffrey Dahmer series, I believe. But if you look back at one of the singles that Kanye West used to have, it was called Monster, right? I think it's with
Yeah,
Nicki
forgot
Minaj,
about
and
that.
I don't know who else was on it, but I mean, it's like predictive programming. Like he became a monster, like in that same form, right? And then
Yeah,
indeed,
get
if you
out.
look at Jeffrey Dahmer, and I think there's a whole reason also like why they are like Netflix and all of Hollywood basically are promoting the occult, right? Because
Psychosis.
right, when I was like younger, when I was a teenager, I found the occult also interesting. So I started to read a lot of books and and try to learn from it. And then you get curious, right? You want to be yeah, see okay, what is all this about? Especially if you read like Aleister Crowley and all of that. And that's very dangerous because before you know it, you actually start tapping in and dabbling in all those activities as well. And once you cross a bridge too far, you cannot go back, right? And before you know it, you actually are yourself a monster. But you never realize that you came to that point because it looks very innocent from your own perspective, right? Because you slowly start progressing into that knowledge and understanding and thinking, like you're trying to let go of the so-called reality, right? And then you start playing around with things, and yeah, you actually lose the sense of reality. You don't have common sense anymore, and you actually start experimenting not only on yourself but
Yeah,
also people around you. And before you know it, you take somebody indeed from the club home to your house, and something might happen. And once you cross those kind of bridges, yeah, you also see that in the storyline, of course, of Jeffrey Dahmer himself. Like once he killed like his first victim, more or less by accident, as he claims it himself,
yeah,
right?
by accident, right?
It was not an accident because it was also his fantasies, and he would
Yeah,
to keep that boy for himself, no matter if he's dead or alive, right? But he claims it was an accident that he actually killed him, and then it was like, oh shit, what did I do? I actually killed somebody. But once he took that step, of course, it was no longer an issue to keep doing that because it's like, I already did this before. Why not repeat it again? That's, of course, I think also the problem with a lot of people, like when they do evil stuff and they consider, like they are convinced themselves, I will, go to hell or whatever. Okay, why not continue doing whatever I'm already did before, right? What's the harm? Like if you already will burn in hell, then why not do it again? And I think that's the whole problem, especially also with like a Kanye West. Like I think in general, when you look at celebrities, it's like they can go either way, right? Like they go to these doors of Noriega, right? The Nori door, so that is the left door. Let's say, okay, there's some rainbow flags over there, right? And then the right door, there is a little dripping of blood. Let's put it like that, safely secure on it. But okay, so you either go one of these doors to elevate your career, right? But then once you have done that one time, it's like, okay, fuck it, I cannot do it again. I already did this, it worked. I know I'm doomed. Or some artists are like that as well. They did that, and then they have regrets, right? And then they have always tried to redeem themselves. Like whatever they are doing after that is like basically the total opposite of what they have done before, right? And I think like actually back to Kanye West again, I think he's really truly a Gemini because on one hand, I think sometimes he really is doing the exact opposite of what he did in the past, and he tries to redeem himself. That's also the whole reason why he's so-called religious and makes gospel music now, right? And it's just church and whatnot. But then on the other hand,
yeah.
it's like he's like the saint during the day and a demon at night, right? Like what are you? You
Yeah.
know?
So what are you, man?
I don't think he knows himself, and I don't think he thinks about it at all. I think he just goes literally with the flow.